everybody. Today I want to talk about the 5 steps to quit the addiction to abuse. Probably the most common message I get from people is about this process of the addiction and leaving the addiction behind and wanting to go back. And usually people are writing in response to my video on piercing denial. If you haven't seen that yet, on the Stockholm Syndrome and trauma bonding and why people keep going back, be sure to check that out. This video is to give you tools, to give you 5 steps, 5 powerful tools that you can use to break that addiction. So the most important thing to recognize from the get-go is that abuse is like a drug, right? So when you decide to leave that person, you will go through withdrawal. Do not underestimate the pull of this withdrawal. And this can go on for months, for years afterwards, right? So you want to be able to get a hold of that. It's literally like quitting a very addictive substance. You know this substance is destroying like your health, your sanity, your appearance, your performance in life. Like literally it's destroying your entire life and you know it, yet you still can't help yourself from going back or responding to the contact. The thing is that addiction is about the feeling that you get. It's not about the substance, right? It's the feeling that you get from the addiction, and it's the feeling that you get distracted from, that you don't want to pay attention to in your life. That's what you really need to go work on. So you have to get really clear and honest with yourself. And I mean like hardcore honesty. Like, what are you getting out of that addiction? And what feeling are you avoiding by staying or relapsing? Avoidance is the path to suffering. It is the hallmark of anxiety disorders, and anxiety is almost always a sign of past or present abuse. So if you have anxiety and you're not in a present abusive situation, then you need to go look at the past trauma that you haven't dealt with yet. Trauma only survives in the darkness and with what's hidden, right? So that's what you want to override. And you know, the thing is that maybe this person might show up again in your life, and maybe they're on like their best behavior and they're doing everything that they did when things were good, you know, and you'll convince yourself that they've changed, and they'll convince you that they've changed and that they've changed their ways. And then you'll find that you're just right back where you were. Maybe it's the next day or the next week or the next hour or the next minute, right? This contact with that abusive person, this addiction inevitably leads to harm. You will set yourself up for another traumatic brain injury if you go by. That's why it's really important to break the addiction. So here's the 5 steps that I have for you to put in place so you don't get sucked back in. Number 1 is get away. Get far away. Do not disclose your new location, your new address to the abuser. Ideally, this means no contact. No contact is like no phone, no texting, no Facebook, no WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, any other personal or digital form of communication that you had with that person. Delete them and block them from reaching you. Change your number if you have to. Move away if you have to. Do not let them know where you live. If you absolutely cannot completely cut this person off, meaning you work with them or you're co-parenting a child with them, then you need to have steel boundaries. You need to ignore all attempts at them to contact you that are not work-related or child-related communication that is absolutely necessary. And keep those contacts to a bare minimum, like less than 2 minutes of conversation as possible. That's usually enough time to be able to maintain those boundaries and to get out before anything sticks to you. When you are having those interactions with these people, gray rock it out. That is a technique that means to be boring, uninteresting, unopinionated, unmovable, unshakable. It's like the vibe is nothing interesting to see here. And you need to have unbending intent with this boundary, or you will open yourself up to be manipulated and hurt again. Chances are you will learn this lesson the hard way at least once, if not a few times, before you really get it. We've all been there. So by taking control of contact, that's how you take your power back, right? That is like the one thing that they can't control. They can try all they want to get a hold of you, but if you don't go for the bait, they're going to get bored fishing over there in your neck of the woods, and eventually they're just going to move on. Number 2 is detox. Your detox means get rid of everything. Get rid of all the paraphernalia, like the photos, the saved text messages, the chat logs, the Facebook messages, sweatshirts, anything that they gave you or left behind. Sell it, donate it, get rid of it. No, you don't owe them the courtesy of coming to claim it. Do not invite them to come over to get it. All of this is like paraphernalia. And the moment you are offered a taste of that drug again, you will be right in it before you even realize it. So get rid of that stuff, like get it completely out of your life. Number 3 is to get lucid. That means to get super clear with yourself. Get out of the spell, get out of the fog. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Realize that any communication with them is propaganda. It's like, when those like alert things come on, maybe for weather or some kind of situation, there's like this obnoxious sound, and it's followed by like, this is a special message from the emergency broadcast system of your higher self. Right? Your higher self kicking in saying, whoa, this is not healthy. See every seemingly pleasant interaction with this person as a vision of them like buttering up the toast, right? They're just buttering it up and it looks delicious and it smells delicious, but they're just preparing you for the next slam down. Realize it's all a game. And every moment that you think back to like the good times, when everything was really good, that was all an illusion. And you want to replace that with reality. I cannot emphasize this enough. It's literally like falling into a dream where you forgot that you're dreaming, right? So you need to set up different things to help you remember to wake up, right? Set up reality checks for yourself. Like write down something in moments of lucidity about the abuse that you endured from that person, about how you felt in that situation. Maybe you recorded your voice talking about it on your phone, on your computer. Maybe you took like a selfie video of yourself talking about it when you were sobbing and crying and really hurt, and set those things up for yourself so that you can go back and listen to that and read that again when you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling that irresistible pull to go back, right? Number 4 is visualization. You need to visualize reality. So your subconscious works through imagery and visions, right? So you want to see this person for who they really are. Imagine them as maybe like a viper or a black widow or a tornado or a wolf in sheep's clothing. Whatever lets your mind know who they really are and what they bring into your life, right? And you need to do this in a moment of lucidity, right? And don't pick something that you're terrified of because you don't want to trigger yourself. Pick something that is so totally that person and totally represents the energy of that person in your life and dangerous enough that you don't want to go back and be part of it, but not so terrifying that it triggers you into a fear state. And just imagine them like that. And that visualization, as you practice this, it's gonna sort of imprint on your subconscious, and it will remind your subconscious of reality. See, the thing is that your conscious mind knows that it's abuse. Your conscious mind knows it's not healthy for you. Your conscious mind knows you don't want to have contact with that person. But remember what happens when you're under stress, when you're triggered into the trauma bonding. Your thinking brain gets shut down. All of that energy and memory goes to the 4F state: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn is also sometimes described as the other F, like as in reproduction, right? And so you get triggered into that state. And once you're triggered into that state, it's very hard to get back to the thinking brain, to get the thinking brain back online for several hours. It could be 4 to 6 hours later that the cortisol is still running through your system and you're still in that stress state, making poor decisions because you don't have the faculties of your conscious brain. That's why you want to set this up in advance, because you could fall back into that pattern where you don't want to be, and your mind won't even realize what's happening until it's too late. And then you'll look back and you'll go, how did I fall for that again, right? Your amygdala got hijacked. That's why you set it up to begin with. That's why you set it up in moments of lucidity so you don't fall into the trap. Number 5 is reconnect. Reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your loving support system, reconnect with life, right? Spend time with yourself alone. Get to know you. Discover what you live for, what your passions are, what you love, what your life purpose is, your why, like the reason you get out of bed every day and the things that you would fight to death for. Tune into yourself and find out where you're at in your body, mind, and spirit right now, and dream about where you want to be. Like, what is your vision? What is your mission? What is your life purpose? What gives your life meaning? If you're bored, you need to get busy discovering you. Get back to basics. Meditate, exercise, nourish your body with healthy foods, nourish your mind with inspiring, uplifting, and motivating, healing messages. Hydrate your body with clean water and your mind with positive affirmations. Exercise and move your body, which is also going to shift your mindset. Don't forget to rest your body and mind. Get adequate sleep and increase the amount of peacefulness that you have in your life, especially at home and work where you spend the most time. Spend your time and energy with loving friends who mutually uplift you, who you admire, who you're inspired by, people that you want to be more like. Learn from one another and feel amplified and not drained and anxious and sucked dry or just like icky all over. Hang out with people who are living their purpose and creating their dream. If you don't have people in your life like this, then you need to get out and meet new people until you find them. Get out in nature, meditate, hike, play, lay in the grass and stare at the clouds passing by. Connect with the universe and God, if that's how you see it. Tap into that interconnection principle with all life and remember that everything is singing, breathing, and dancing together, and you are part of it all. You can also travel if you have the time and the resources to do that, especially traveling alone, because when you travel alone, you really get to know yourself. Every decision that you make is entirely a decision that you make. You don't have to make decisions based on other people. Traveling really shakes your reality paradigm up. It gets you out of those stuck behaviors and belief systems. You get to meet new people, you see new places, you have new experiences, you see life from new perspectives. And that's really great for shifting everything up and for reconnecting with yourself, with other people, and life in new ways. So these are my 5 tips to break that addiction, to quit the addiction of abuse. I know it's really hard. I really know. And that's why I want to put this out there. If you have had some success with this and you want to share that with other people, write it in the comments below. If you're still struggling with certain aspects about breaking that addiction, write it in the comments below. If you liked this video, hit like. If you know somebody who's going through this, who could really benefit from this information, please go ahead and share it with them. You might help change their life. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time.